Every developer has a crazy origin story, and I don't know what yours is, but mine is that I just wanted to cheat in math class. That's all it was. I just didn't want to learn. I hated learning. I hated school. I hated everything about school. And of course, I hated math. And I didn't understand math. So, of course, I was looking at ways to cheat. And was it Bill Gates that said something like that he wants to hire lazy people because they are the ones that will find the easy ways to do stuff? And it is exactly how I felt about math. I just wanted to find an easy way to pass math without having to learn everything, without having to understand everything. And at some point, I found it. I found a way to cheat in math. And you could have done it as well. Look, my way to cheat in math was actually pretty straightforward. My calculator. And in that calculator, if you didn't know, there is a way to create files. And when you create those files, you have access to a full catalog with all the alphabet, all the letters of the alphabet to write text with, all the symbols of formulas to write your formulas down. And it was just hidden behind this little button that said PRGM for program, which I didn't know it meant program back then because I didn't know about code. I didn't know coding. I didn't even know it was something out there in the world. I just knew if you clicked on that button, you could create files. If you open that file, you could write text and you could take the formulas from your book, write them down word by word, symbol by symbol, save them. And during exams, you could go back to that file, open it again, read it, and reapply it at the exam. No need to learn it by heart. And once I figured out, now you can be sure I went ahead and for every exam I had to study, the only thing I did was I would open my book, I would look at the formulas, I would create a new file, put all the formulas in there, the title, the exact formula, how it worked, some context. I would arguably spend a lot of time writing everything down, which I could have spent learning it, but my way was way more fun for sure. So I would open the book, take the formulas, write them down, save it, and I know it would be available to me during exam. There was no need to study any longer. I could go back to my computer, I could go play, I could start a movie, I could watch animes. While you were learning everything by heart, I was having the best time of my life. But how is that related to me teaching myself how to code? When you clicked on that program button on your calculator and you had a list of all the files that you had created, when you clicked on a file, you had two options: execute and edit. Obviously, edit was the way to open a file, writing everything down and saving it. But the execute button was a huge mystery because I had been pressing on it for weeks, for months, for years, and it never did anything because obviously there was nothing to execute. But I was young, I didn't understand it, I didn't know about coding, I didn't know about the concept of coding. So for me, execute, it did nothing, it was just broken. There was something I didn't get. It didn't really matter because I could use the edit button. But when I was in the edit mode, when I was in that file writing my formulas, opening that catalog with everything, there were three sections. There was the alphabet, there was the symbols, and there were pre-written words. And for a long time, I wondered, what are these words meant to be for? Because obviously they were not meant to be a quicker way to write words. Because first of all, there was maybe like 10, 15, 20 words max. And there were weird words as well. Prompt, jump, go to, print, return, break. They made no sense. But at some point, I don't know, something clicked in my head. And I figured, well, if these words are not meant to be used for writing, and this execute button doesn't do anything when I press on it, maybe, maybe they're interconnected somehow. And that is what led me to write my first program. Now, this was a while ago. I was in high school. We had no internet. I had no books. I had nobody to ask for advice or for help because I was using it to cheat in math. First of all, so I was really doing this in secret and with pure brute force, trial and errors and hours and hours and weeks of trial and error, I finally got my first program to run. And let me tell you this, the first time I clicked on that execute button and it actually did something, it asked me for the value of A, it then asked me for the value of B. It ran a simple calculation and printed the result back on the screen of my calculator. Now, at that moment, I'm telling you, I felt like I had unlocked access to this black magic realm world. For the first time, I had made my calculator do what I wanted it to do. Mind blown. And the first thing I did when that program ran for the first time and gave me the end results, I decided I would go through that entire list of all the formulas I had been writing down for months and years, and for everything I deemed necessary, I would create its own little program. I would create its own little file with its own little prompts and its own little formula, so it printed the end result. And even though that took me so long to do this, this was by far the most fun I was having in high school. And arguably the best thing I could have done for my entire life, because look where I am today. I've been a software engineer for 15 years plus. I've had so much fun on this journey, all thanks to me in high school not wanting to learn math and just looking for a way to cheat during exams. Now, if you're a developer, let me know in the comments down below. What is your origin story?